I don't blame him. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're bashing on the side of the trailer. You're pounding on the trailer. You're pounding on the door. He opens the door. You hit him with this thing in the head. Now, maybe he hit you first, but then you hit him. Anyway, then you were absolute horse's ass to the police. This is file number 24926 FY, People versus Shania Marie Hill. Miss Hill was charged with assault with a dangerous weapon for allegedly hitting her brother in the head with a sock with a heavy object in it, and then resisting and obstructing the police officers. The matter was reduced to attempting to resist or obstruct a police officer. And the matter was set for a sentence today. The defendant missed several previous court dates. She would be set. There was a P exam set. She didn't show up. She'd get arrested. And then she'd postpone, and then she wouldn't show up, and then she'd get arrested again. And
all right, guys. In this part, the judge reveals a police report that completely changes the tone of the room. He exposes inconsistencies in the defendant's story, brings up her daughter's statements, and reads a victim note that adds an unexpected twist. The tension rises as the judge points out how her actions and attitude toward police added fuel to an already complicated situation.
Then here we are. So I did get the police report, which was eye-opening. The defendant had been in the Kalamazoo County Jail and was out. She got arrested again in December. Between the time we took this plea and now.
What we just.
Let me see what there was a date of the plea. December 30th. I guess that was earlier in December. So the police report is bad. When I took your plea, you wandered and you gave me this long story about your daughter was at your brother's and you came down there and you thought he was doing stuff with her, but yet you let her live there or placed her there for 2 years.
He was taking her money.
You thought he was taking her money. Then they talked to her. She said she'd rather live there. Anyway, he did provide a brief victim statement, which I'll address.
She's lived with me since he assaulted her after I first got out and filed my police report. He choked her.
All right.
In this section, the defense attorney steps in and tries to untangle the mess surrounding the case. She explains missing information, last-minute scrambling, and the defendant's insistence that she never hit her brother. But she also admits the body cam footage doesn't help her client. The attorney paints a picture of a woman overwhelmed by life, struggling with stability, and drowning in setbacks.
Anyway, then you were absolute horse's ass to the police. Here we are. Miss Hines, what would you like me to know?
Yeah, this was in May of 24. Rhonda Ives was her initial attorney and had did some discussion with a couple witnesses. Shana and I got off the wrong foot because I didn't realize that the case went back that far. I didn't get any background information from Rhonda Ives, so we had to make up a lot of ground on the day we were here in December. My client was adamant that she did not hit her brother, that her brother had hit her. She was honest with the court. She explained that. That's why the assault with a dangerous weapon was dropped. And she did admit freely that she did kick the police officer, and she was pretty difficult with them. I did watch the body cam. I think she's had kind of a rough life. Her daughter was there. Her daughter's now was back living in Kalamazoo when we entered the plea. She's disabled. She did tell me this morning she's made arrangements at the Gilmore Center to do some inpatient work there. It sounds like she might.
I never thought I would say this, but I can't hear you very well.
So it sounds like she has some substance abuse issues. She did admit to drinking that night. Sounds like she's just had a rough life. She's got 5 children. I learned that this
Just a
morning.
moment, Mr. George, your client just came in. If you need to talk.
I've talked.
Okay, all right.
So it sounds like she's got neglect and abuse or had neglect and abuse charges. So I don't think anything's been really easy for Miss Hill. So I know that she wants to go ahead with the Gilmore Center. She does have pending charges in Kalamazoo County, but she doesn't have the paperwork to tell me what those are. So obviously she has that to deal with. I guess we would
Here, the courtroom shifts as new charges, conflicting counties, and a complicated legal path come into focus. The prosecutor explains why the plea was handled the way it was, and reveals that the daughter later accused the brother too, adding another layer of confusion. It becomes clear the case is tangled with alcohol, fear, and missed opportunities that only made everything worse.
be asking for fines and costs. She did serve some jail time. She has Kalamazoo County jail time, and unfortunately, it's taken a while for this to get here, but I'm glad I've now been appointed and I've been able to straighten things out for her. So it's been kind of a mess. So that's what we're asking.
All right,
Thanks.
according to what I got from the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Department, her charges were assault and battery, resisting a police officer, driving suspended, and resisting a police officer. Those occurred on December 13th of 2024. She did mention that she had been charged with something in Kalamazoo, but we weren't clear.
Right,
I
and
think
I
it
wasn't clear of that
I
either.
think those cases are still pending in Kalamazoo County.
Right,
Scheduled it out for, after a month in the treatment center, which I was waiting for today. Pushed it back since that's.
All right, Mr. Gabriel, you've been here now about 10 days, so you inherited this case also. Do you have any input here?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I guess I appreciate you looking into what was going on in Kalamazoo, and what immediately pops in my mind is wondering what the defendant's state of mind was at this particular point in time. When I initially read some of the police report up to a point, I thought, well, this is a lot like what in the old days we would call a drunk and disorderly. And then I saw the kick to the police officer. And to me, that raises this to the kind of level that it deserves to be here. I would read one note, kind of in response to defense counsel's last comment, from our thought process. The court's well aware of some of the sentencing directives that have come down that affect the circuit court and what they can and can't do with particular cases. And it was the opinion of the office at the time, prior to my arrival, that a plea before you could give her the potential for more sanctions and more help than might be received if the case went up to circuit court. This case kind of arises to the level where it's too bad she didn't get it taken.
Everything becomes raw. The defendant opens up about losing her home, her children, her stability, and even her will to keep going. She admits to overdosing multiple times, struggling with alcohol, and falling apart under the weight of years of chaos. Her daughter's plea for her mother back hits hard, and for the first time, the courtroom hears genuine vulnerability instead of excuses.
Taken care of right away, because I probably wouldn't have read a lot of the notes that I've read. The issue here between her and her brother that seemed to be fueled by her own alcoholic, intoxicated paranoia about her daughter. The officer talks to the daughter, there's no problems, but then a few months later, let's see, July 15th, the next thing you know, we have a warrant, or this office issues a warrant against the brother for assault on the daughter. That warrant is still open, and that was another factor that resulted in that office, Mr. Marvin's office, not pursuing the felonious assault. So my hope for the court, realizing that this client has been very difficult, is we can try to help, court can try to help, or the court can put her in jail as a punishment for what she did and hope she gets help on her own. But fines and costs just seems like we're asking for something you're never going to see.
Ms. Hill, I'll give you the last word. What would you like me to know?
I've lost everything these last 2 years. And looking back, I just tried to make excuses for everything. It's this CPS, it's something. And I've stomped my feet and, yelled long enough, and I need to shit or get off the pot, and I've died 4 times this last year, and I'm tired.
What are you struggling with? Opioids or methamphetamine?
Alcohol.
Okay.
And I'm just to the point where I'm either going to kill myself or change. And that's why the treatment was set up for the following week or the past week. But I can't leave to come to court and stuff like that. You can't leave for it. My daughter, even with the assault charges there, she just said, "Mom, I just want my mom back." I'm like, well, saying crap like I did something isn't cool, but I understand she just wants her mom back. And after the treatment, it's like it's like 5 days detox, something, and then it's like 14 days in, and then it's a 90-day sober living, and then there's another program after that. I've lost my house, all 5 kids. I don't have anything left. I just want to start over. I moved out of Kalamazoo because there is nothing good for me there.
Now the judge takes full control. He confronts her with the timeline, the 3 a.m. incident, the weapon in the sock, the drinking, and the repeated absences from court. He walks through every bond, every rest, every failure to appear, laying out the full extent of the trouble she created for herself. It's a long, unbroken sequence of consequences she can no longer outrun.
20 years of just.
Where do you live now?
Hartford.
Okay.
And Kalamazoo is supposed to do like a global or whatever it's called, where they put all the charges together, and they're gonna see how I'm doing after like a month.
So do you have charges in Van Buren County also?
This is the only one besides Kalamazoo.
Okay.
And they were supposed to do probation, I think, there.
Well, I think that may be the thought.
Yeah, that's what they were saying with the prosecutor and them last time. So they just wanted to make sure I got into the treatment and started. And today was the last thing I had. I got the meds and everything. So.
All right.
I'm too old.
Yes. You do have a lot of baggage. At the time this happened, which by the way was 3 o'clock in the morning, May the 25th was at that time it was a Friday night into a Saturday morning.
Sure,
So you didn't just show up there and want to have a discussion. He said you hit him in the head with a sock with a piece of pneumatic chisel.
I was upset with him, and I honestly went there to beat his ass, and I didn't. He punched me and slammed the door. Like me and my brother.
So I'll blame him. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're bashing on the side of the trailer. You're pounding on the trailer. You're pounding on the door. He opens the door. You hit him with this thing in the head. Now, maybe he hit you first, but then you hit him.
I never hit him. I would admit to it, sir.
All right, well, he claims you did, and they found the instrument. You're drunk. This is in a trailer park. As Mr. Gabriel said, drunk and disorderly, to be sure. Then apparently he got charged with you, but hasn't been arrested yet. And so they decided they weren't going to pursue the assault part, just the cop part. So the police show up. You got a previous resisting and obstructing conviction out of Kalamazoo. You're on bond for resisting and obstructing from December 13th, or excuse me. You got arrested again for resisting and obstructing in Kalamazoo while you're on bond for resisting obstructing. And the only reason this case is so old is that you continually failed to appear for your hearings when you were supposed to. We kept bonding you out. The first one was a surety bond, and your surety company called on after you failed to appear.
I had a lot of problems with the man that bonded me out. And
Well,
he
then,
pulled the bond.
Yes, he called and said she is a quote unquote hot mess. And then he pulled the bond, and
Bonded
then
me out every time.
I think you spent the 25th and you got out on the 26th the first time. Then you got picked up again on the 11th, and the 10th of July. You did 2 days there. Then you failed to appear again. You got arrested on December 17th, and you posted bond on the 18th. So you've done a total of 4 days in jail. Since you got arrested on December 17th, and that man, did they bring you down here from Kalamazoo?
Yeah, it was like a whole week this last time.
All right, so you were in Kalamazoo from the 13th, and then they brought you here on the 17th, and I gave you a bond on the 18th. So you got...
Hearing hits its climax as the judge announces 30 days in jail, and the defendant is stunned. He reminds her of the assaults, the repeated resisting charges, the chaos in multiple counties, and her refusal to cooperate at every turn. The sentence lands hard, ending the hearing with tension still in the air. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.